Well, it seems to be that time of year once again. Time to put away the skateboard for the month of all things spooky and scary. It's also apparently the only time of year all the generic, unimaginative channels actually move away from their hyper-creative safe zone of shooting each and every video exactly the fucking same and decide to make an effort by going outside to get cute shots of the most harmless spiders imaginable and walk about in the darkness. Well, don't look at me! I spent all of last week outside! So to just really drive home my point about unoriginality and why I hate this time of year, here is this video. The same fucking topic you get just about every year, most likely with all the same games I talked about last year, and this time, just to mix things up, Cal already beat me to it, you bastard. So without further ado, here are my top 10 spooky levels in non-spooky games. Strap in and strap on. We're starting off with a simple one today. This was one of the first video games I ever played, which isn't a bad thing. While the game is short and simple enough, it was the perfect challenge for my younger self to overcome. Towards the end of the game, we come to the Passageway of Eternal Torment, an auto-running level deep in the underworld that sees Hades and his servants try to prevent you reaching the end of this long snaking corridor. It opens with a sight of a skeletal gate which always stuck in my head. Running through, doing our best to survive as the ceiling caves in and the earth separates under our feet. It really is an intense moment, especially for a young and new to the whole video game thing, as I was when I first reached this, and accompanied with a really great music track, a scene skipped over by the movie this is based on truly delivers in Disney's action game. Featuring Hercules. Yes, that is the official title, and it's fucking atrocious. Speaking of atrocious, any level from Sly 2 could feature on this list. They're all dingy, depressing, and oh so dark. Look, the sun isn't even out and I can still see my reflection on the TV screen. That's how dark it is. Anyway, one of the levels in this game I did find myself enjoying to some extent was the Contessa's castle. The architecture on this thing is absolutely mental, and navigating to the higher peaks feels like the real-time equivalent of levels like Slippery Climb, from the bottom right to the very top. It's like a vertical maze covered in guards whose searchlights can be genuinely terrifying. And once we start to explore inside, we find crypts, hidden trap rooms, and the laboratory of an evil spider lady obsessed with hypnosis. You'd think with such a solid checklist that this could have featured much higher on the list, but ironically, the lack of visibility hurts it because we can never get a good look at how truly creepy this is. And it also affects the overall gameplay in the end, making this more frustrating than spooky, but still, this is one place I'd never want to visit. Because of all the stupid fucking minigames! The AVGN games are passable, from the perspective of being decent enough, but also games you can pass by and not miss a whole lot. The first game included Boo! Haunted House, a terribly underwhelming experience with this lazy blackout gimmick and the two loudest, most flamboyant colours I've ever seen in a Boo! Haunted House, lime green and hot pink. Really brings out the piss stains in my pants. Luckily in round 2, Assimilation has the Monster Madness levels that are fucking amazing. Easily the peak of the entire game for me, the black and white grainy film look already helps it to stand out, along with the superb music found in these stages. But soon enough, you start hitting buttons and boom, the lights are on for a short period of time, revealing the most gorgeous colour palette, perfect for a theme such as this one. Enemies fly out of nowhere and wreck Uranus, then combined with a lot of time-sensitive situations, it really ramps up the nervousness of the situation. And with a final boss that just refuses to die until he gets cussed out by the nerd and just gives up, it's such a shame the entire thing is over in less than 15 minutes? What were they thinking? That's the scariest part. From a time before it was cool to be 8-bit, Fazanadu does a great job of creating atmosphere in my opinion. Travelling to the misty part of town is such an abrupt contrast to the fairly normal locations elsewhere. Shrouded in fog and completed with a spine-tingling piece of music, it's so ominous exploring this location. It makes you fear for what might show up on the next screen, normally a dangerous pit or new challenging tower to complete. The Tower of Suffer and the Tower of Mist. Very nice job on those names, guys. How did you ever come up with that? We get to fight dragons and skinless bone dogs, among other spawns of Satan for their glitchy items, only to escape back out into the foreboding darkness and continue our journey. The only thing more pathetic than talking about The Sims 3 over 3 years past its relevancy is taking one look at the Supernatural expansion pack and thinking, damn, now that is a Halloween special. Fuck. Ignoring my inability to play this game well and actually be entertaining, this late addition to the game adds in a whole bunch of really great stuff. Occult beings, possessed items, all things magic and all things zombies. As the full moon rises and you head out exploring into the night, the dead rise from the ground around you and really don't do a whole lot. They're more of a nuisance than anything else. While we're out causing trouble, why not brew up a potion and harass some children? Or just cozy up by the fire next to your ghastly clone and relax. Yeah, of course this series is known for its silly sense of humour, but Moonlight Falls and all of its inhabitants really make for a great setting to explore on Halloween. Now this is a spooky level. It's got everything! Spiders, glowing colours, suspenseful music, blackout sections. Dude, Naughty Dog know how to do this. Their cave levels and threatening themes always manage to steal the show in their games. It's awesome. The spider caves in Jak and Daxter actually give you a lot of space to explore, which is generally uncommon for this type of environment, as it's normally quite claustrophobic, but by opening these caverns up and giving them each a unique set piece, gives off the impression that there are secrets to be found, a mystery or ancient treasure waiting to be uncovered. But all there actually is to find are dangerous paths littered with hazards, and enemies everywhere ready to pounce when you least expect it. I remember getting lost in this place when I first played the game as a young boy, and being Australian, I was already desensitized to the horrors of the spider caves. That's a lie. I almost fucking cried out of frustration and anxiety before turning the game off for a week. Now you're probably wondering, what could possibly be spooky in a wrestling game? I mean, aside from the terrifying quality a lot of the older titles feature, there is also this gem from Smackdown vs Raw 2011. The game has a series of short stories, including one where a character of your choosing goes one-on-one with The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Leading up to the event, a lot of really weird shit happens. Everything from undies messing with you in matches, getting harassed by the ghost of Paul Bearer, and hell, why not just go whole hog and make us wander around backstage, collecting lost spirits into an urn for Christ's sake? Yes, this is an actual thing that happens, and it's fucking ridiculous. Though it's only topped by the reason we're here. Suddenly, our character starts to black out and enter some kind of weird nightmare world, Silent Hill style. Backstage is void of any life and just makes you feel off balance. Though this logo is still upright, really killing my immersion. Thanks guys. And then we go out for our match. The arena is filled with creepy hooded figures and some really unsettling ambience. It was the last thing I was expecting when I picked this up back in the day. Totally fucking mental. There are two sides to the Crash Bandicoot series. Down to earth, simple and all classics, then the other side of the totally mental. While I don't see the Academy of Evil fitting into the more down to earth and classic style, damn I wish we could have seen more of it into insanity. A school for mad scientists and troublemakers. It's like if Hogwarts was all just Slytherin, basically. Snape's missus, the fat lady, hangs about over pits of acid, the school's architecture is falling to pieces, and classroom projects have taken ownership over the entire thing. It's just a great concept and is easily one of the most memorable levels, I'd say, out of the entire series. And to complete the effect, the a cappella music, mainly in the hub area, but also others throughout, are all perfectly creepy to fit. Not so much creepy from the monsters under your bed kind of way, but more in the way of awkward school children trained to be evil. The only shame I have for this is that the cheap reproduction, Evil Public School in Mind Over Mutant, really killed the sense of mystery and mystique this location once had. Now, people know I'm not a fan of Donkey Kong 64, but if you couldn't tell from that opening music, this level needs to be on here. Easily the highlight of the game for me, aside from its end boss. This level is one of the most interesting I've ever explored. The audio combined with the dark visuals just impart a feeling of dread on the player as you spiral up to the highest point. But on the way, you'll encounter all of the secrets this castle has to offer. Hidden mazes in pitch black, underground caverns filled with mist, and of course the interior sections. Ballrooms, haunted libraries and dungeons, all classic tropes of the horror genre. As I mentioned before, while most unsettling situations in games prey on the lack of space and visibility, the grand vastness of Creepy Castle only helps it. There is so much to uncover here while the quick scares and heartless feelings loom over you. It really is a great spooky level, in case you couldn't tell. But there is one more that I think tops it, and if you're familiar around here, then you've probably already guessed what it could be. But before the answer is revealed, here are some honourable mentions. Come on guys, you knew this had to be the top spot. What else could beat it? Treehouse of Horror Springfield is the prime example of going all the way on a cool idea. Pedestrians are replaced with zombie alternatives, vehicles come in the form of witches on broomsticks, coffins with creepy hands, and of course the zombie car. Get it? Because references? References, references, references. This entire level is a goldmine for Simpsons nerds like myself. But to top it all off, Evergreen Terrace, the power plant, and the rest of town is coated in the colours of Halloween. Hell, playing the game on Halloween even continues this theme forward. And the music is that perfect blend of cartoon violence and real violence to really put you in the mood. Even though there is nothing truly scary here aside from the difficulty of the final mission I've raved on about before, the presentation is through the roof as it always is for the Yellow family. The Simpsons. That wasn't a racial thing. Trust me. So, with our winner for the night done and dusted, I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to let me know some of your favourite spooky levels in non-spooky games with a comment down below, followed with liking, subscribing and sharing the video. I'm Square Eyed Jack and I hope you have a great fucking night. Thanks for watching.